Hey, Canada, I am here with the one, the only, and get off of my screen there. Yes. The one, the only Terry Leroy. Is it Leroy or Leroy, Granny?
Well, it's a little while since it's French, but yeah, people
Fre-
they say it wrong just like they say Granny Four-Bell wrong sometimes. But it's Terry Leroy,
I should have known that
American American
being.
version of a French name.
I was just going to say I should have known that being a Canuck. We're technically across the country bilingual, so I should have known that. Granny, I apologize.
But that's no problem. I mean, I'm only 60 miles, like I'm riding Oswego, New York. I'm 60 miles from Canada. So
Oh,
I
right
mean,
on.
we're neighbors.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
right.
So this is going for our Canadian viewers via the Western Standard, my West Rock column. Um, for the two fans out there that don't know very much about Granny for Barrel, describe your kind of music and who you are influenced by.
Well, I like to describe it as it's a psycho circus. It's a theatrical, steampunk, shock rock, heavy metal. I mean, it's a blend, an infusion of all genres of heavy metal. All my favorite influences. I mean, we got a fiddle player, but he's been known to play some Eddie Van Halen Eruption. And yeah, I mean, we've been influenced by, I mean, all the great bands of the past and even modern bands. I mean, Judas Priest, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Ronnie Dio, etc.
I haven't heard any Canadian bands in there, Granny.
Well, I mean, go ahead and name a few. Well, Cobra and the Lotus. We just toured with Cobra and the Lotus.
All right, okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, don't
I
we're
just
not dissing Canada.
no.
You guys are our family. Like I
Well, no,
said, 60 miles away.
yeah, you don't diss Canada. We leave that up to Ted Nugent.
Yeah,
Just
well,
kidding. Just kidding, Uncle Ted. I'm looking for you. So Art of Deception, that's your new single. Where did you record that? Was that done virtually, or was that recorded before lockdown? Or give me a sense of when it was recorded.
yeah, that's right. Out of Deception, recorded with producer David Bendeth, and that was done in Montclair, New Jersey, pre-pandemic. And I mean, just before, because we were getting ready to release it, and then, everything got shut down.
All shit hit the fan.
Shit hit the fan. That's right.
Is there any more singles to be released?
Oh, we're sitting on a whole cache of metal magic waiting to release it. But in the meantime, during the pandemic, I started another collaboration, Leroy 13, with a
Yes.
couple of the guys from Evanescence and the Mice and Men, and we did a Ronnie Dio cover for charity.
Stand up and shout.
That's right, stand up and shout. So we just been, moving around. I mean, I'm just keeping busy.
So is there going to be another Granny for, is that Cachet coming out in a Granny for Barrel album in later this year, or?
Well, I've had a bunch of journalists ask me, and they're getting kind of pissed at me. They're going, Granny, when's the record coming out? And I just keep dropping singles. And I'm sorry about that, but I don't want to put out a whole record until I'm satisfied that we got enough of a groundswell. Then we're going to give them the impact and put out a full record. But I got enough for a full record, just waiting in the wings.
That's very interesting because I've interviewed a couple artists in the last little while, and they're releasing one or two at a time, and they're saying because they can concentrate on perfecting it. And just Greta Van Fleet recently, before they released their album, they released a single after a single. So I think that's the way things are kind of going.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can devote a lot of attention and a spotlight on one track at a time and really, work it for all that it's worth. I mean, you put a record out, and if you're lucky, you get a couple good tracks on there that people are listening to, and the rest, I mean, your mainstay fans, they'll listen to it, but then the rest of it's lost, and you just burned up a record, and you got to start all over again.
So moving forward, that way there's no B-sides, right?
That's right. No B-sides. It's the new paradigm, Ernest.
All
One
right,
single at a time.
nice. So what's you've got a very unique look, and I'm not talking about the hair because I know that's natural, but
Yeah, it's all natural.
what's what's a Granny for Barrel concert like? Is it something like in the is there a bit of comedy per se, like a Steel Panther show, or is it serious? Or well, I mean, I can tell right now. I don't know why I asked that question. I'm sure it's not 100% serious, but
Well, it's like so I'm real big on theatrics. I mean, I'm influenced by a lot of the great bands of the past, and I feel like when the fans go to see a show, they should be entertained. So it's very theatrical, but yeah, you're going to get your little sense of thread of humor in there. I mean, one of my favorite bands lately I've been listening to is Maynard's band Pucifer. And you know what I'm saying? It's on
yeah,
the same wheelhouse. And yeah, like you said, Steel Panther, right? I mean, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, those guys will kick you in the nuts on stage. I mean, they're shredders, top shelf musicians. And that's what we
absolutely.
got. I mean, I don't take myself too serious. We take the music serious, but we're here to entertain and have a good time.
The whole yeah, the whole the atmosphere, like when you go to see a Broadway play, you're going to get the music, you're going to get choreography, you're going to get acting, you're going to get, and then you have the ambiance of being around people, which well, we're not allowed to do that anymore these days, but hopefully we will in the future be able to assemble and get in those venues. You must miss entertaining in front of fans, or where you are you guys getting back to doing live shows?
Yeah, no live shows yet, but management's discussing right now with some promoters and some agents, talking about some maybe late 2021, but certainly 2022. But yeah, you got a special treat, speaking of entertainment, because Granny has not appeared to anybody, not even in any interviews since last, well, 2019, November. The last time we appeared was when we played for Wendy Dio at the Whiskey A Go Go. And that was the last time anybody saw Granny. In fact, my alter ego, Terry, he's a nice guy. He's been doing the interviews on my behalf.
Yeah, I heard the opposite, Granny, but he's not here, so we can talk about him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
he's a nice kid.
He's a nice boy.
He tries hard. He's a nice guy. He's got, he's courteous. He's got manners, but I say, fuck all that.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the other side.
I was going to say, you know what? If you want to play some shows sooner, all you guys have to do is just immigrate to Florida or Texas.
Yeah, I mean, and then everybody will get COVID again. But well, I'm not ready to do it.
Well, no, I mean, at your age, you're probably at the strongest possibility immune system, so you wouldn't have any problems.
I mean, I've survived plague after plague, and I'm always staying one step ahead of the shovel.
So are you like, so if you've survived plague after plague, are you saying you're like, in Amy Lee's words, immortal?
Well, yeah, I mean, I lost track of my age about 150 years ago. So,
right.
You can just use your imagination. That's the good thing about Granny. Use your imagination. I've been around as long as humanity, because Granny ultimately exemplifies the spirit of rock and roll, which is freedom of expression, nonconformity, rebellion, all the best parts.
Well, I got to tell you, Granny, you know what? For living for all those decades and living with the vampire Lestat and everything, you really look good. You don't look a day over dead.
I know, and I appreciate that. Bless your heart, Ernest. As my granny used to say, bless your little heart.
So, so we talked about who influenced you. The last 12 months, have you grown, and I mean, and this is a little bit more of a serious topic, but with the COVID and the lockdowns and everything, has anything changed in your personal beliefs or anything in respect to life and values and what really is dear to you over the last 12 months? Anything, have you grown spiritually or anything like that? I'm trying to random.
Well, yeah, you know, and here's the thing with me, because I'm a workaholic, so I just
Yeah.
keep going and going and going. And, you know, that's not necessarily the best way to be. But since I'm in charge of my own destiny and I'm making up my own rules, like sometimes I don't even listen to myself. But when someone above me finally said, hey, guess what? Everything
Yeah.
stops. I had a chance to step back and go, you know, holy shit, I kind of like this little break in time. It's a little better time, you know, more time for reflection. I've had more
Right.
time to work on my music, spend more time with my family, and you know, just in general, yeah, and more introspection, more spiritual, all of it. So I think it's a good thing. How about yourself?
Well, you know, I think for everybody, it has, well, it's a life-changing situation. So I think everybody has had some positives. I mean, there's a hell of a lot more negatives going on the last 18 or 12, 13 months, but there are some positives. I mean, I have learned to have a little bit more patience and that sort of thing, but I wouldn't be lying if I say I certainly can't wait to get back to normalcy, because you know, today I was just at a rally, you know, an assembly where people of like minds were discussing our thoughts on the lockdowns and things. Like here in Ontario, you wouldn't know it, but we're one of the most locked down and most restricted of all places in actually North America, including Mexico.
Yeah,
Seriously.
well, good for you. Yeah,
Well,
that's good.
good. I hear you.
I mean,
No,
it
I know what you're saying, but
might not feel good, but it's good.
yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. So Canadians that influenced you, I mean, yeah, we already talked about that. So singers, who influenced you to sing? Like, was it somebody like when you were growing up, like oh, I don't know, Ella Fitzgerald? Like you were obviously around back then, and so who
Yeah,
influenced your
I
singing?
mean, oh man, I mean, you know, if you ask my violin player who influenced him, I mean, since we're talking about the old days, that would be Paganini,
Well,
right?
that's what
He
I was
was
gonna say,
playing,
because I don't know too many singers back in the 16 or 1700s, but I was
yeah,
just curious. So yeah, so Paganini was a good one
yeah.
for
I mean, back in the
violin.
day, yeah, back in the day, you know, 1600s, 1700s. I mean, you just, I don't know, you just sang some crazy songs like, you know, Yankee Doodle or shit like that. I mean, of course, that ain't the 16, it ain't
Yeah,
the
but you know,
1600, but you know what I mean? It wasn't heavy metal, but you know, maybe the great opera singers. I do like some Pavarotti.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was thinking another one that you probably were influenced by was the local town criers.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
because
mean,
they've got the lungs to belt out and you know, that sort of thing. But um on a serious note, you have
yeah,
your cell phone with you, by the way, Terry or Granny?
yeah, I sure do. Wow, what's going on?
Well, it's just nothing really. It's just you got your contacts list there, right? Can you just click on your contacts list?
Yeah, all right. Here we
Well,
go.
I'm just curious.
What's going on, Ernest? What are you up to?
Well, I'm just wondering if you can scroll down to Stormy Daniels' number and can we give her a call?
Well, now, you know, I do have a number here. Of
Okay,
course, you
well,
can't see it, but you can see a name in my contacts. And
wait, hold on. Hey, I've got a touch screen laptop. Let me see. Oh,
yeah,
it's
you
not
just go ahead
working.
and yeah, you just go ahead and touch it. But I mean, I don't know how well received she'd be.
No, it would
I
be
have no
really
idea
good.
what she's doing right now.
No, no, she'd be okay with it. I was just Skyping with her. She said, yeah, just tell Terry to Granny to call me. So could you hit that button?
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Why don't you go ahead and instant messenger, and then we'll take it from there.
All right.
But you know,
All
I
right.
haven't talked to Stormy. I haven't talked to Stormy since well, since we did the video, and then it was like right around the Donald Trump stuff. All that stuff was going on, and then I was on tour,
Yeah.
and she was also on tour at the time. We kept talking. We were going to do
Yeah.
another video. We never got around to it.
Well, in case no our you know the two viewers that are hiding under snowbanks in Canada, as I like to say, do not know, explain to those two people your affiliation with Stormy Daniels, the ex adult entertainment actress, but very talented director, and also the ex-mistress of Mr. Donald Trump. How's your affiliation, and what has she done for you lately or previously?
Yeah, so we met up with Stormy via Jesse James Dupree from Jack, because Granny was doing some recording over at Jesse's studio. We did a bunch of Full Throttle Saloon appearances. I
Right?
think we were there for 4 years in a row. And when we were getting ready to do our first video, Jesse's friends with Stormy, and he said, "Hey, you heard of Stormy Daniels?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You know, she does videos." And I was like, "I know she does videos." He's like, "No, she does rock videos. She also does rock videos. She's a director." So he gave her a call, set it up, and we recorded She Likes Guns, and that's on YouTube if you want to check it out. It was a good time. And yeah, I mean,
we checked it out.
we had a great time. We had a great time. That's right. She
Actually-
Likes Guns.
I actually checked out the uncut version. So how was that experience working with her? Like, what did you expect going in there? Like, I mean, everybody would be kind of starstruck, you know, going into, you know, meet a person of that caliber in the media. What were you expecting? Were you expecting her to be that? Because the video was directed really good, to be honest, no matter who was directing it. What did you expect going in? Did you expect that level of professionalism, or?
Well, I mean, Jesse informed me ahead of time, you know, she's good. And of course, Stormy and I talked a bunch of times talking about the treatment, the concept, what are we going to do for the video? So, you know, we had a rapport. So it was like, it was, you know, it was cool. She was totally cool. Yeah, you know, strong work ethic. I mean, we guerrilla style got that video done, showed up at like 9 a.m. CIA in downtown Los Angeles, and we just went for 12 hours till it was done. And the next
Wow.
day I left and went to Las Vegas.
Wow, that's incredible, man.
Yeah.
So I won't keep you much longer. I've just got actually a couple more things. You got Amy Lee on your contacts list?
I do not, but I do know Will Hunt because I've been playing with Will. He's the drummer.
Yeah, well, he's a good looking person, but but I mean, I'm just kidding here.
Yeah, I know he's not Amy Lee, but
No,
right.
no. All right. So what do you have to say? Oh, I was going to ask you, have you played Canada? Like, when's the last time you played in Canada?
I have not played Canada, Ernest. So you got to get us over there. Once you guys open back up, I need to get over to Canada. You need to talk to management and to
Okay.
Chipster and get us some gigs over there.
Chipster's the best, isn't he? And Hadley?
I love them. I've been working with Chip now for about 5 years. I love them. Love
Awesome.
Hadley. They're all great over there. They do right by Granny. I mean, it's an incredible PR firm. Chip's been around, man. He's a veteran.
No, he is a veteran, and yeah, so I'm very grateful for him getting us together. One last thing, what do you have to say to your Canadian viewers, and maybe a word of encouragement for the future?
Well, I'm just going to tell you to, first of all, make sure that you tell Ernest to get Granny over to Canada. All right, that's number one.
Yeah, I'm over here.
Because
I'm already here.
we can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see you. And if you're wondering about the show, and you know Cobra Page from Cobra and the Lotus, since we did a tour with her in Texas Hippie Coalition, she can tell you a little bit about us. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to come over to Canada and see our neighbors over there. And as far as words of encouragement, you know, always look at the glass half full. It's always half full. Don't think about the things that you can't do. Just think about the things that you can. Okay, we can't do this now, but what can we do? And then my final words are what I told you earlier. Just stay one step ahead of the shovel. That's what I've been doing.
All right, Granny. Thank you very much, my friend. And we will see you in Canada, hopefully sooner than later. But in the meantime, keep taking your vitamins because you look great.
I think I do a lot of deadlifts and muscle ups. That's how I keep my shape.
I got a shape, but it's a pear.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen me under my dress.
Oh,
So
whoa! This is PG
that's
rated.
for another time.
Yeah.
That's another
for-
video.
Okay, Granny. Thanks again, my friend.
Thank you, Ernest. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers.